You might be wondering what's going on in the country presently. Why is Trump threatening to invade Nigeria? And why is Nicki Minaj trending? Why are people bashing her? And what did she do to get in the crosshairs of the issue that Trump is talking about? All of these and many more is what I'm going to be discussing in this video. Now, welcome to Ned World. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get into it. The first thing you need to know is that earlier this month, being October, Donald Trump criticized our Nigerian political system for not protecting the Christians in the country, claiming that they are being killed. And if the Nigerian government is not willing to do anything about it, that he is going to send his military force. They are going to come gun blazing into the country to protect the Nigerian Christians. And it led to so many controversial talks. I never really took it seriously when I first heard this story, but all of a sudden it's getting real. There's this interview Piers Morgan did with our foreign minister, Yusuf Tsuga. Hope I'm pronouncing that okay. Let's take a look at what he said while he was questioned about this very subject matter.
We don't want to be the next Sudan. We will not allow ourselves to be the next Sudan.
No, I understand
Where are the faith-based groups that were agitating and to be remembered? They're no longer there to fix Sudan.
Okay.
Not north, not south.
Okay.
It's Nigeria as a member of the Peace Council of the African
Let me jump in if I may.
With heavy lifting.
Foreign Minister, if I may, I'd like to jump in if I may, because you do seem to be avoiding my questions. You know, you don't seem to know how many Christians have been murdered, which I find surprising.
I'm not.
Well, you haven't given me any. You've told me you don't know.
I'm not avoiding
well,
well,
just with respect, sir, you have not given.
Nigerians, so
no, you have, I know what you said.
May not necessarily
I understand.
Same as those that.
But you are, yes. But what you're saying, if you could let me speak, what you're saying is that you dispute the numbers of Christians that have been reported to have been killed, but you have no idea how many Christians have been killed. What we surely can agree on is how many Christian churches have been destroyed. Do you know how many?
Yes, I do. Over the last 2 years, there have been 52 churches, depending on which region, again, you are referring to, because there are different regions in Nigeria, and there are, I can give you the figures right here now. So,
well, how many since 2009?
Since 2009, since the last 5 years, attacks, not destroyed, attacks on churches, 102. So we're not hiding any figures, you see. It's important to understand this. Same way that there are mosques that are destroyed. I don't even have to mention that. Nigeria is configured in such a way that you have Muslim and Christian populations all across the country.
So basically, he did not give a direct answer. He was just running around the question without focusing on the answer that was required from him. Now, the former Canadian MP challenged our foreign minister. Let's take a look at that video too.
Here's what's happening in Nigeria is jihad. It's the exact same thing that happened on October 7 by Islamists when they broke into Israel and murdered Jews yelling Allahu Akbar. It's the exact same thing that ISIS terrorists did to the Yazidis in Iraq. It's the exact same thing that happened in Lebanon. Here's the only difference between what's happening today in Nigeria versus what happened 1400 years ago when the Muslim Arab invaders came to Persia is that back then people did not have cameras, but today they do. It is 100% jihad. We've seen it before. This is how the Islamist playbook always happens.
Well, I don't think that the foreign minister was denying that bad things have been happening. He's just denying that it constitutes a genocide and that the numbers of reported
because his
deaths
government is a part of it.
Of murders of Christians.
I think his government is complicit.
Right now,
you have right now you have an Islamist government in Nigeria. One of the things that he didn't mention to you is that typically it's been a constitutional convention in Nigeria that if the prime minister is Muslim, then if the president is Muslim, then the vice president is Christian. If the president is Christian, then the vice president is Muslim. This is intended to have a proper representation of Nigerian population. Right now, you have a Muslim president, and then they decided to choose a Muslim vice president, and so there is actually no Christian representation in the Islamist government. By the way, this is a government that is working closely behind the scenes with the Islamic Republic of Iran. You should ask the foreign minister why Nigerian school children are holding pictures of the Ayatollah, who is a brutal dictator and is murdering my people in Iran. People need to look into the linkages between the current Nigerian government and the Islamic Republic of Iran. I was a politician for 7 years, Pierce, and I can tell when someone is lying and avoiding the truth. That's exactly what this foreign minister is doing, and shame on him for lying.
That was how she called our foreign minister out. But it's still left for debate. Is he saying the truth, or is he just being honest to the best of his knowledge? Maybe there are things happening in the background that he knows nothing about, so we should just have to give him the benefit of the doubt. But if he's representing Nigeria and is operating in that position of authority, he should have all of the information, so that when he's speaking on our behalf, he'll speak with authority, speaking with knowledge of knowing what is actually going on in the country, instead of foreigners telling him about what is going on in the country and he knows nothing about it. It is not supposed to be like that. Piers Morgan also interviewed a pastor from Plateau State who provided first-hand account of what is going on and how the government is trying to play down the intensity of what has been going on in that part of the country. Let's take a look at this video.
I've performed several genocide burial more than 70 times. Imagine some of the graves are 501 people killed in one night in Dogona Awa village named Gemburu. The Nigerian government downplayed that one because the Islamic are controlling the government.
So the Nigerian government, if I may just jump in there, the Nigerian government has vehemently denied there is a genocide of Christians in Nigeria. Further, they say a lot of Muslims have also been killed by the likes of Boko Haram for being too moderate, and that therefore the issue of Islamists killing people is not restricted just to Christians, but also to moderate Muslims. What do you say to that?
So let me give you the background of what happened. This is the background of initial fact finding. They created Boko Haram by many that are in hierarchy of the government to remove Goodluck, who is a Christian. This is what happened. They steered them. They caused riot every village. And the people run away, they were relocated. And their target is to kill the Christian. Because Goodluck is a Christian. That's why Goodluck says, my blood is not worthy for other people to die.
You've heard what he said, because at least he has a first-hand knowledge of what is going on there. We can only work with the information that we have been given, and we know that there are certain kind of information that the news won't cover. So it's always hush hush, and these are the kind of stories that you hear maybe from somebody living there or somebody that has a person there with a first-hand knowledge. That's the only time you can get a glimpse of what is truly going on, the gravity of the atrocities that are being committed there. I know sometimes mosques are being attacked too, but you can't compare it with the frequency at which churches are being attacked over there. And I know that it's not all Muslims that buy into this. These interviews happened on the 17th and the 18th of November. Like I said in the introduction to this video, Nicki Minaj was dragged into this conversation. How did she get into this conversation? She was invited to speak in the White House by the United Nations as regards to these killings that are going on in Nigeria. And here's what she had to say.
Back in way too many places. In Nigeria, Christians are being targeted, driven from their homes, and killed. Churches have been burned. Families have been torn apart, and entire communities live in fear constantly, simply because of how they pray. Sadly, this problem is not only a growing problem in Nigeria, but also in so many other countries across the world, and it demands urgent action. And I want to be clear. Protecting Christians in Nigeria is not about taking sides or dividing people. It is about uniting humanity. Nigeria is a beautiful nation with deep faith traditions and lots of beautiful barbs that I can't wait to see. When one's church, mosque, or place of worship is destroyed, everyone's heart should break just a little bit. And the foundation of the United Nations, with its core mandate to ensure peace and security, should shake. I am joined here today by peace builders, by faith leaders, by those who saw violence, saw rising intolerance, saw the threats clearly before us, and chose not to look the other way. I am inspired by their work to build interfaith ties, to see the humanity across the lines which might divide us, and to fight for security and liberty for all those who pray. I look forward to our discussion today, and I hope it will encourage deepened solidarity for us to urgently work together to ensure every person can enjoy the right to believe, to worship, and to live in peace. Barbs.
After she made this statement, it gave rise to this particular talk of the genocide of Christians in Nigeria, the killings of Christians in Nigeria. And so many people praised her for it, and so many people condemned her for it. Most Muslims from the northern part of the country, they condemned her for it. They are really bitter. Most of them said, if you still have Nicki Minaj song in your phone, you should delete it. That you have no business as a Muslim listening to such kind of music. So many people called her names, and they said that she had no business chiming into this kind of sensitive topic, that her lane is very different from this lane and she should not get involved in it. That was what was said about her talking about this particular issue. But it gave rise to other people saying things. Let's take a look at what Nigerian journalist Ruben Abati has to say about this.
American, where there is religious freedom. My repost was that, look, Nicki Minaj is a rapper, right, from Trinidad, Port of Spain. That she should just concentrate on Anaconda rap music and what's that fans called Babs. This is not, as far as I'm concerned, she's chasing clout. Even if she has been invited to this forum by White House advisor and also by Michael Walls. The thing is 1 o'clock, you said, Eastern GMT. Well, I think what we should do, since now the Americans are adding, influencers and all of that, we also have influencers here. Look, if I were to advise on strategy, by that time when Nicki Minaj is speaking, we should put Tiwa Savage on national television for Tiwa Savage to express patriotic opinion, to say that this is what Nicki Minaj, this is whatever she wants to say.
There's no Christian
whatever she wants to say.
I'll say it.
Whatever she wants to say, because this is not a matter for people chasing clout, looking for influence and all that. We can also have Tiwa Savage or other people to defend their country whatever their belief is.
Christian
That's what I
it's not
think.
about defending Nigeria. Killings are going
Okay,
on.
but
This is-
has
Well, whatever you say. No, I've not stopped. There are about 5
Who's
topics.
arranging her
I've
speech?
just
Well, we
started.
know the White House is arranging her speech.
I wish.
What do you think about what he said? Is it okay that Nicki Minaj got involved in it? I feel like the only reason why they invited her to make that statement, that's not her saying it, that was what she had to read. The only reason why they invited her to make that statement is because of she's a key figure, and they know that when she makes that kind of statement, people will be forced to listen to what she has to say, and that's the reason why they invited her to make that particular statement. But that was not the end of it. Seems like as Nicki Minaj was making the statement, in the same day a church was attacked in Iruku town, Ekiti local government area, Kwara State, and 3 people were killed there and the rest were abducted. I won't play the video. You can go to X and watch the video for yourself. The attacker invaded the church during a meeting on Tuesday, November 18th, 2025, and immediately opened fire, sending worshippers scrambling for safety. 3 members were shot dead on the spot before the assailants seized an unspecific number of people. The gunmen came in suddenly and started shooting. 3 people were killed instantly. They gathered others at gunpoint and marched them into the bush. We still don't know the exact number taken, one source said. The attackers reportedly escaped through bush paths that connects Iruku to neighboring communities. The incident occurred shortly after heavily armed terrorists launched a coordinated attack on the town, forcing travelers and residents to flee into surrounding bushes for safety. This is just the Wild West here in Nigeria. Nobody is safe. When you are traveling, you're always careful. You don't know if it's kidnappers you are facing. You don't know if it is terrorists. But the thing is that we are all just very careful in Nigeria. And like the pastor said previously, all of these things started during the time of good luck. You know, sometimes when they do things like this, they don't think about the second order effect and the third order effect of giving arms to people that are down on their luck in life. That is, you are giving them a purpose. And now when the mission that you've given them has finished, like good luck term finished long time ago, what would they do with the arms that you've given to them? They will use it to terrorize people, which is a bad look for Nigeria at large. And now you are finding it difficult to put them in check. It's not like if I'm happy with America involving themselves into the issue that concerns Nigeria, because we know that whenever they get involved, there's always something that they came for. Because you can't tell me that they just want to come into the country just for coming into the country's sake. They want to risk the life of their citizens. They want to spend their resources and send their military assets into the country just because of they want to help Nigeria. I don't think that's true. I feel like when they are getting involved, when United Nations is getting involved, there's something that they are looking forward to gain. There's always something that they are targeting. That is what I truly feel, and I feel like this video I'm about to show now would explain it to some extent.
So you guys know that over the last few years, I've really tried to be intentional about what I say in public about Black folks. I try to be really careful, but some things require a public statement. And as I've been watching this situation unfold with Nicki Minaj and Trump and Nigeria, I thought it was important for me to say a few things. There are consequences to aligning yourself with Donald Trump and his policies and his evil ways. There's consequences. What we know is that as he turns his attention to Nigeria, understanding his history, there will absolutely be exploitation, theft of resources. Somebody that he knows wants something from Nigeria. It could be a business partner, it could be a friend, it could be a said corporation, it could even be his family members. but they will invade Nigeria and exploit the people for their own benefit. And they will throw Nicki Minaj to the wolves because they could care less. They couldn't care less about that system. The unfortunate part about all of this is that there will forever be a stain associated with this moment that this sister will have to walk with. She will 100% see bloodshed because innocent Nigerians will be harmed and even likely killed as a result of whatever is to come. And she will have that on her hands. And it is pretty sad to watch because what we know is that Trump, often uses black people and black culture to harm black people here and abroad. And it is happening in real time. And that sister is going to carry this moment with her forever. So today is a pretty sad day. It's a pretty sad day, and it won't be long before we all get to see how it unfolds. Maybe she knows, maybe she doesn't. Maybe she doesn't have anybody around her to inform her. But history tells what's going to happen. And it's, again, a pretty sad day.
Many Nigerians, sadly, are not following up on what is actually going on with the state of the nation. They are focused on themselves, what they would eat, how they would survive, their family, and you won't blame them because when you are stuck in survival mode, all other things that are happening, they seem like noise to you. This is getting really intense, and hopefully it won't get to that part where the United States would have to get themselves involved in Nigeria. Hopefully it won't get to that part. With that, we've come to the end of this video. Trust you liked it, trust you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you think about the state of the country. If it's a good thing that the United States is interested in Nigeria and trying to, in quotes, save the Christians, or do you feel like it's just what they do, or whenever they claim to trying to help a country, it tends to end worse for that country than how it was before they stepped into that country? Now, like I said, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Bye.